Okay, well, my name's John Greatrex, and
That's absolutely fine.
Fantastic. So if you could just introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
okay, my name's John Greatrex. I used to be in the British athletics team back in the 70s. In fact, I think I used to hold the Loughborough College record before Seb Coe came along and got it. But I'm looking for a rerun, and I hope he's going to pace me so I can get it back, or at least push me in a wheelchair. My interest here is twofold, really. I've got an interest in athletics, of course, and also I've got an interest in the Crystal Palace. Back in the late 70s, I with some others set up an organisation called Crystal Palace Foundation that sort of is basically the world authority on the Crystal Palace now, and set up a museum and things like that by the National Sports Centre in South London, Crystal Palace. And it just happens that for 2012, these two interests of mine sort of blend together, because one of the Olympic sites for 2012 is Hyde Park for the triathlon, which is where the original Crystal Palace for the Great Exhibition of 1851 was. And so what I'm aiming to do is to create a small pavilion that's in the shape of the Crystal Palace, and its windows will be full of sport art projects. And you can see the windows over there, and they sort of all bolt together very simply with an Allen key. And we've sort of been working on this a number of years, and it's basically a matter of just getting other people interested, looking for people who might like to sponsor a window. So that a company sponsors a window, perhaps for a local school, and the school then do an art project to create one of the stained glass windows of this Olympic Exhibition Pavilion. And so come along this evening to get to know a few people possibly, and thank Kevin very much for sort of setting the thing up, and the organisers here too, because it's not just, although the Olympics is taking place in London, of course it really should involve the whole of the country. And anyway, back on that site in 1851, the Great Exhibition involved all the country and all the world anyway. And I'm sure if you were in Bath to go and look at the old newspaper cuttings of 1851, you'd find that a number of people came from Bath, a number of manufacturers from Bath to exhibit in the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park. The Olympics marquee pavilion is basically going to be a walk-through. There's going to be nothing in it apart from stained glass windows. It's going to be like walking through a child's kaleidoscope. That's there. And it's to be 6 metres wide and 18 metres long. It'll go up 3 metres to 4.5 metres, and you can just walk through it, and the light through all the stained glass windows should make quite an interesting experience for people. And because what Baron de Coubertin said was, as far as the spirit of the Olympics was concerned, it is the marriage of sport and art. It's not just sport. My knees have given out. I don't think I'm going to get in the British athletics team for 2012 to do the 800 metres from the sports side, but I would like to be able to do something on the cultural side, and this is the opportunity to do it. So if anyone want to give a hand, come along. I've got my cards here.
Fantastic. You mentioned the schools would be involved. How important do you think it is to get young people involved in this?
Oh, extremely important. My own interest in athletics was started when I was at school, and it's an opportunity for children to be doing things that prevent them, at least while they're doing those things, from perhaps getting into the habit of smoking or the like, because it's much easier to do a cross-country race without a cigarette in your mouth than with one. And in fact, even if you are a heavy smoker, at least if you do a bit of running, for those few minutes that you're doing the running, you're at least giving your lungs a rest from the cigarette or the drink or whatever else it is. So, yeah, let's just put it that way, really. Life is a race with no first place. The strongest merely go on longest. So, one would hope it would inspire people to get a healthy way of life. And the other thing we've been taking around the schools is the 1948 Olympic torch, but children have had the opportunity to hold and to make a little pledge, like an Olympic or championship pledge, saying they're going to lose, a stone in weight, or they're going to help mum with the washing up for the next 3 months or whatever. And we come back 3 months later, and if they've achieved that, then they get a little medal to say they've achieved their thing. And they've got the opportunity to actually hold a real piece of Olympic memorabilia, because that torch that we're going to light later this evening, that held the sacred Olympic flame back in 1948 on its route from Olympia to Greece. The Olympics flame symbolises peace, the Olympic truce. The man who created the Crystal Palace, Joseph Paxton, there's a wonderful, as far as I'm concerned, there's a nice little combination of the two, because in Latin, pax means peace. So all we're saying is give Pax a chance with this Crystal Palace Olympic exhibition pavilion.
Fantastic, thank you very much for that. We'll let you get back to your network.
Rather than Radcliffe, rather than the winner, because it got the Olympic
Such a
torch.
symbol.
Yeah, and so I've been able to use it loads of different times now in different things. We're using it. We relit it on the site of the Crystal Palace that burnt down. They put out a fire 82 years ago, and we've rekindled the flame there, which is the home of the national.
It's hard to imagine something more symbolic, isn't it?
Yeah, and so and take it around primary schools, and usually, for their sports and things. Usually, the head teacher gets told, "We won't let anybody else have it." And then we take it to some schools and take it to mine, to men, to some children's charities, getting them to do it. Croydon College, all of them were making these pledges of what they were going to do. And then we use it every year at the end of the British 10K race. The winner, as he's coming past the cenotaph, my job is to jump out in front of him, give him the torch, so that he runs through the tape with the torch.
Of course, he's going to pick.
So we hopefully they don't. So the times we've sort of done it with the Haile Gebrselassie, Baldini, and the girls coming through. Yeah, so.
Excellent.
And then Bromley's, the Borough of Bromley last year. Earlier this summer they had a schools relay. Because it's a relay torch. It's the next, and each school was given a country to investigate, an Olympic country, and to do an Olympic flag of that country. And this was the winning one. One of the primary school did the Danish one, Danish flag, and so it all sort of ties that together. And,